Enak. Mr. Emerenciana Fondi.
I'm fine.
Oh, Miss. Okay. 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 I think I forgot to. Second. Forgot to greet myself too. Okay. My name is Kahlil Ahmad Al Fatih from SMK Telkom Bandung, and yeah, I'm the moderator for today's meeting. Okay. And nice to meet you all. Like 99 participants here. Let's just wait.
Recording and progress. Recording and progress.
Hello, Kahlil.
Oh yeah, hello sir.
Good luck for being a moderator today on today's event.
Oh, yeah.
So we have like 115 participants now.
Well, I think I'm gonna ask Mr. Deden Patureja. How are you today, Mr. Deden?
I am fine. Okay, thank you for greeting me. First of all, I would like to introduce my name. My name is Deden Pratureja. I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia, as an English teacher. So I feel happy joining this program again for the second time. And I hope all of us can enjoy this program like yesterday. Okay, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Deden. Okay, I'm gonna ask the third person. Just a second.
Anything else?
I'm still. Oh yeah, I need to remind you
Harus ini
about the new format. Like first the name format.
Iya cuma saya Wan.
Sorry, phone is not good.
Kenapa lah
Can someone mute? Can someone mute first? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the name format will be the name, district, and province. Oh, okay, Miss Aliani. Uh, okay. I want to ask you all participants to rename your username to nickname, town, like nickname, town, Indonesia, or any country, wherever you're from, like that, please. Or if you're from abroad, just nickname underscore country. And also don't forget to use the virtual background. You can
Halil,
yes, sir. Sir.
okay, hello guys. Hello Khalil. How are you? Assalamualaikum Khalil.
Yep. Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Bako.
Okay, I see that you are still crowded actually. This is the first time that you want to hold them first for international host. That's right?
Yep. Yep, Mr. Bako.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's okay. It's normal actually. So you can cheat step first, the first one for all the participant here before we have to go to the main program. But and honestly, I really hope for all the participants or viewers from any I don't necessarily any come from any cities in Indonesia and abroad. Please, you have to use virtual background of VLC Indonesia, and you can get from in the group of VLC Indonesia. So please guys, viewers, using virtual background or VLC Indonesia that you can see behind me, there is VLC Indonesia, the dark yellow, yes, in the same color, yes. So please guys, you have to use that. You can get from VLC Indonesia group in WhatsApp. Okay, and then please open your camera, guys. Okay, all viewers, open your camera. Okay, thank you for Delgonda, Rina Asriani. Thank you very much for Dina, Sumiana MD2. I don't know how to pronounce well. Muhammad Nur Ihsandi. Okay, thank you for Yuli Lapangsari and also Hana Dia. Thank you so much. I hope that in others participants, please open camera and using virtual background or VLC Indonesia. Hello, Kahalil. Okay, I think that you want to chit chat for another participant here before we have to go the main topic or the main programs. 1 minute more. Okay, to Radi, Delgonda, Sumiana, please using virtual background of VLC Indonesia because this is really connected if you want to get international certificate. Because after this, there is one, like recruitments that you have to screenshot yourself by using virtual background VLC Indonesia that you want to fill in attendance list 10 minutes before ending this program. Can you hear my voice, Kali, and all the participants?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I see a lot of participants here, more than 100, 171. Yeah, hello, right?
Can I start now? Can I start?
Yeah.
Can I start?
Yeah, actually, okay. Just don't forget to remind again for all the participants here to using virtual background or else Indo. Okay. Got it? Khalil, you can got it? What I mean?
Can I start the opening now?
Okay, wait. One. Okay. Times.
Assalamualaikum. Hello everyone. My name is Kahlil, a student of SMK Telkom Bandung, and welcome to the International by VLC SMK teams. We thank you all for your participation, both from Indonesia and abroad. Here in the first 30 minutes, I will convey some things related to today's program. Like Mr. Bako said, first, all participants are requested to use the VLC background in the group. So you can get it in the group basically. And second, write down the name, district, and province as you see on my page. So for example, like Kahlil, Bandung, Indonesia, if you're from Indonesia. But if you're from abroad, just use your nickname and your country of origin. Okay, and third, please mute your microphone except when host lets you speak. And finally, fourth, keep your camera on. Well, except if you have some problems with the cam, then please report in the Zoom chat. Okay. Oh yeah, if your phone does not support to use virtual background, well, it's okay. Next, let's watch a short profile video of SMK Telkom Bandung and also SMA BPI 2. And also the video of today's speaker and host, Mr. Buckle. Okay.
SMK Telkom Bandung merupakan sekolah terakreditasi A yang merupakan bagian dari Yayasan Pendidikan Telkom. SMK Telkom Bandung memiliki 3 program keahlian, yaitu multimedia, teknik komputer jaringan, dan teknik jaringan akses telekomunikasi, yang bukan hanya menghasilkan lulusan yang dapat bersaing di dunia industri, namun juga dapat menghasilkan lulusan yang berkepribadian unggul, memiliki jiwa kepemimpinan, mandiri, disiplin, dan pekerja keras. Yang kita realisasikan dengan adanya kegiatan Patriot yang dilaksanakan oleh murid baru selama 1 tahun. Maka dari itu, ayo bergabung menjadi bagian dari SMK Telkom Bandung untuk menjadi penggerak pemersatu bangsa.
Okay, the video is amazing, right? Okay, Mr. Bucko, can you okay.
Oke Google, SMA favorit di Bandung.
Saya merekomendasikan SMA BPI 2 Bandung.
Selamat datang di SMA BPI 2 Bandung, sekolah swasta yang sudah terakreditasi A dan berada di pusat kota Bandung.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baiklah, saya akan memperkenalkan nama saya Dr. Andes Haji Waluya Wahid Utama, Kepala Sekolah SMA BPI 2 Bandung. Keunggulan SMA BPI 2 Bandung baik di dalam bidang akademik maupun non-akademik. Di bidang akademik,
Oke Google, SMA favorit di Bandung.
Saya merekomendasikan SMA BPI 2 Bandung.
Selamat datang di SMA BPI 2 Bandung, sekolah swasta yang sudah terakreditasi A dan berada di pusat kota Bandung.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baiklah, saya akan memperkenalkan nama saya Dr. Andes Haji Waluya Wahid Utama, Kepala Sekolah SMA BPI 2 Bandung. Keunggulan SMA BPI 2 Bandung baik di dalam bidang akademik maupun non-akademik. Di bidang akademik, SMA BPI 2 Bandung lulusannya banyak diterima di perguruan tinggi negeri maupun di perguruan tinggi swasta ternama. Di bidang non-akademik, SMA BPI 2 Bandung banyak mendapatkan juara tingkat kota, tingkat provinsi, tingkat nasional maupun tingkat internasional. Alhamdulillah, di tingkat internasional SMA BPI 2 mendapatkan medali emas di bidang pencaksilat. Di bidang yang lain, keunggulan SMA BPI 2 yaitu di bidang sarana, diantaranya ruangannya dilengkapi dengan CCTV, dengan AC, internet gratis, serta bangkunya 1 orang 1 bangku dan 1 kursi. SMA BPI 2 Bandung dalam pembelajaran BDR ini di masa pandemi COVID-19. SMA BPI 2 Bandung bertatap muka langsung dengan siswanya, yaitu dengan adanya Google Meet dan Zoom Meeting. Kenapa harus memilih SMA BPI 2 Bandung? Karena SMA BPI 2 Bandung ini guru-gurunya sangat menyenangkan, serta lulusannya S1 dan S2. Di SMA BPI 2 Bandung, pembelajarannya sudah menggunakan pendekatan saintifik. Pembelajarannya sudah berbasis revolusi industri 4.0. Di SMA BPI 2 Bandung ada pembelajaran TOEFL, sehingga lulusan SMA BPI 2 Bandung sudah banyak diterima di universitas-universitas luar negeri.
Di era new normal ini, fasilitas yang menunjang protokol kesehatan sudah diterapkan dengan baik. Program pembelajaran luring dan daringnya aktif, kreatif, serta menyenangkan karena sudah berbasiskan IT. Terdapat program Basic English dan tes TOEFL Preparation di setiap tingkatan kelasnya. Di tahun 2020, 52 lulusan SMA BPI 2 diterima di perguruan tinggi negeri. Dan selebihnya diterima di perguruan tinggi swasta terbaik di Indonesia. Pengembangan kreativitas siswa didukung dengan berbagai ekstrakurikuler yang memiliki banyak prestasi, mulai dari tingkat kota, provinsi, nasional, sampai internasional. Biayanya pun terjangkau dan fleksibel. Yuk buruan daftar, kuota terbatas. SMA BPI 2 unggulan, student now, leader tomorrow.
Wow, video quality is nice. The group. If you don't have it, I will send another one. Okay. Before we jump to the main event, I'm gonna ask some of the participants here. One more time, I guess.
Hello, beautiful people.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
forgot.
Primayanti Agustia Sofianti from SMK Telkom Bandung, and I'm going to be one of the hosts of the International English Training Class Batch 3 by VLC-Indonesia. It is such an honor for me to be the host for the second time in this wonderful program. I can't wait to see you all to learn together with the English experts. So I'll see you soon. Take care and have a nice day.
Mr. Buckle, they're the second host here.
Oh, tambah ya atau dah?
Okay, continue.
Is there a second view, Mr. Buckle?
Basta ka nagtibo. Kagdag tayo tibura. Wala nga yan. Hindi ka na ba pinigabang live? Bala.
Khalil, continue, Khalil.
Okay. All right. Before we jump to the main event, I will ask some of you participants here. Okay. My screen there is.
Hello, Khalil.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ask Miss Patricia, Makassar, Indonesia. Hello.
Very much as well.
Hello. Okay. How are you today, Miss Patricia?
I'm good.
Okay. Can you please tell us about yourself a little more?
Okay, I will introduce myself. VLC-Indonesia. And I know effort so much. My lecture in
And how did you know about VLC-Indonesia? How did you know about VLC?
VLC-Indonesian is International English Training, right? And
Okay then. Well, I'm gonna ask the second person here. I'm gonna ask. Oh, Mr. Jabal Noor. Hello, Mr. Jabal Noor. Yes. How are you today, Mr. Jabal?
I'm fine.
Okay. Can you please tell us about yourself a little more, please? Uh, okay then. Mr. Bako, can I ask the third person?
Yeah, maybe you have to continue for script.
Okay. All right. Before we enter the main event, we'll speak the host who guides. Miss Prima is a teacher at SMK Telkom Bandung. She loves English because it makes me because it okay. Okay. The first host is Miss Prima. Miss Prima is an English teacher of SMK Telkom Vocational High School. Well, she loves English because it make her having superpower. Her goal is to help herself and the student to become the best English speaker possible. She loves watching movie and doing outdoor activity. She also loves to learn new things. Oh yeah, and also she graduated from Indonesia University of Education. Okay, and for the second host is Kanaya. Kanaya is a student of SMK Telkom Bandung. Her full name is Kanaya Adista Belva. Her hobbies is listening to music and swimming and loves to interact with people. Her achievement is first runner of speech contest Erlangga. Her goal is to be a beneficial person for people around me. Amazing. So viewers, stay with us until the end and let's invite Miss Prima and Kanaya to host the event. Happy listening.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Is my voice is clear? Can you hear my voice clearly, Kali?
Yep, your voice are clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, this is the first time for you, and I'm sure that you're nervous, but this is a precious chance, yeah, for you to learn more, to be there to speak English, yeah, and then to improve again your English skill, of course. So everyone, thank you for noticing Kahlil, yeah. And then Kahlil, thank you so much for the nice introduction of me. And yes, good luck to you, yeah. Thank you for the VLC-Indonesia for this great chance, yeah, for Kahlil. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening for all the people around the world. Yes, since there are some of you that comes from abroad. So, how was your day, everyone?
I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. I'm good. I'm great. I'm you all, although it's a rainy season, it's quite cold, yeah, but I feel warm with you right now. Thank you. So, first of all, yeah, I'd like to sorry for the tragedy that occurred in the East Java yesterday, the eruption of Mount Semeru, which caused the 13 death, yeah, for the victims. So I hope everything is going well soon and no more victims, yeah, caused by the tragedy. I mean, right, so let's open our today's class with our slogan, of course, yeah. Do you still remember? One teacher, one book, and one thing can change the world. So hopefully everyone can say together with me, as I say VLC Indonesia, and then let's say together, one teacher, one book, and one thing can change the world. All right?
Okay.
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 So, okay, thank you. Ready? VLC Indonesia.
One teacher, one book, one change the world.
One thing can change the world. Wow.
Thank you
The
so
word.
much. You are VLC. You got a followers here, yeah? Sure. So I'm Primayanti Agustia Sofianti, an English teacher of SMK Telkom Bandung. Welcome back. Welcome back to our international class 3 by VLC Indonesia in collaboration on our second day of our meeting. Okay, isn't that amazing? Yes, and then we really appreciate you for attending today's class or meeting. Yeah, and then please let's learn English together. So all the participants, it's a really good chance to learn as much knowledge about English, of course, experts for 1 hour 30 minutes. And today I'm someone gorgeous. Okay, so that is Kanaya.
Hello.
As my panel host from SMK Telkom. Okay, I will over to you, dear.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Miss Prima. It's so nice to meet you again here. I hope you're doing great now. And also, I want to say hi to everyone here. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the second day of International English Training Class Batch 3 by VLC Indonesia in collaboration. Anyways, how are you guys? It's kind of cold here, but I hope you're doing great, all right? We are so much appreciating you for attending today's meeting to keep learning together with the experts by VLC Indonesia. So I want to thank you to my classmate Kahlil to have introduced me on the first session, but I would really like to reintroduce me properly. Okay. All the audience here, well, hello guys, I'm Kanaya, or Nai for short, as the panel host of today's IUTC Batch 3, and a student who currently learning at Telkom Vocational High School, Bandung. Okay, anyway, for your information, here's two aspects of the IUTC host Batch 2. And I'm feeling super thankful for being here again and for the amazing opportunities to be trusted as a part of International English Training Class Batch 3 by VLC Indonesia. Okay, today me and Miss Prima are going to be with you within this learning session. Everyone, I swear to God, this is a very good opportunity for us to learn English in a fun way. Okay, Miss Prima, do you know what?
Yes, what is it? I
Tomorrow, literally tomorrow is officially the beginning of my final semester. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, best of luck for you, dear.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know it will be so hectic, but surely I will do my absolute best and I hope everything will going to be fine. Also, fighting and good luck to everyone in the same case as me and the ones who will have exam soon. Please remember to take a good care of yourselves, guys, and take a break when needed. Okay? Don't ever forget.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much, Kanaya. Best of luck for you, and then for all the students who attend to this class, we're going to have the final semester examination tomorrow. Yeah, bless you. So by the way, everyone, I'm going to tell you first, yeah, for to the opening remarks, and then the second is going to be the presentation session, of course, and then the last one is the Q&A session. And then, although it's already reminded by Kahlil, I would like to remind you again, please, to first mute the microphone, accept the host let you speak, and then please keep on your camera. We can see you that you are there, yeah, in front of us, learning together. Okay. So, and then rename please with your nickname, town, Indonesia for the people in Indonesia. For example, Kanaya, Jakarta, Indonesia. For all the participants from the abroad, you can please type down nickname and then the country. For example, Andy, Spain. Right. Then what else? Anything else, Kanaya?
Number 4 is that you can ask a question on Q&A session by typing down your question through the chat room. Or also, you can click the raise hand feature and ask the question. The last but not least, there is attendance form on the last 10 minutes, everyone. So for all the participants, don't forget to take and save a screenshot of you for joining this meeting today. That later you will upload it into the attendance form. Right, Ms.
Yeah,
Priya?
sure, of course. And of course, the virtual background too, yeah. That is quite important because if we having a picture together and it will be nice, yeah. Please use the virtual background that you can find on the group, yeah, on the WhatsApp group of the ITC Batch 3. So now, before we go on, I'd like to invite first, yeah, our dear principal from SMK Telkom Bandung, Mr. Krishna Prasetyo Surendro. Mr. Krishna, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for coming, sir, and then for the support, yeah, for this program. We would like to invite you to have the opening remarks. Okay, time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Prima. It sounds clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Mr. Baka, how are you?
Tribally happy. Nice to meet you again, Mr. Krishna. Okay.
Good afternoon. How are you? It's been great, hasn't it? It is great to see everyone here on this event. Express my opportunity given to me by Mr. Bako, the founder of VLC-Indonesia and the International English Training Class Batch 3. Thank you to all participants for joining this amazing event. And of course, welcome to Miss Andi, who is going to be speaker of today's English training class with the topic, Tips for Better English Listening Skill. Again, it is to me and to our school to have this great chance collaborate with VLC Indonesia for the second time. And we are welcoming VLC Indonesia in the another collaboration soon in the future. And also, we would like to give our appreciation to SMA BPI 2 for hosting our event today. It is definitely that English will be needed for future of our generation. This program will bring another great opportunity, not only for teacher, also the student to gain more English skill. I would like to congratulate VLC Indonesia for this international of the third batch. I hope our learning process will be conducted. Thank you for having me to give the opening remarks. Today will be fun and full of learning with Miss Andi from Spain. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Success to VLC Indonesia. Thank you.
Remarks Well, I know you have so many agenda, yeah, because it's also Sunday, yeah. You are in some special occasion. So thank you for your time, Mr. Krishna. And okay, of course, I'd like to greet you. Is now typing down on the text
Hello, my name
on
is
the
Ivan Pangajon.
on the chat room. Yeah, you can say hello on the chat room too. For example, hello, I'm Prima from Bandung. Like, so we can see you all there too. Okay, thank you. So now I think we're going to jump on the main session, right, Kanaya?
Yeah, that's right, Miss Prima. Right now I couldn't wait more for getting knowledge and something new with our special speaker. But before that, I will read first about our today's speaker biography. And I want to remind you to unmute your microphone when the host or the speaker is talking. Okay, guys? Okay, back to the biography or for the speaker. Her name is Andy Lou Casey. She's from Spain, everyone. Hola. 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 She is a journalist, digital creator, and language coach. Wow, amazing. She's so kind, gorgeous, fun, and humble. Really, really. You all should check and follow her on Instagram right now. Okay. Next, what next, Mr. Uma?
Yeah, sure. Wonderful. Thank you for the biography. Well, okay, dear friends. So most of us have learned English, yeah, for many years since primary school, of course, as my experience, or learned by ourselves about the grammar, reading, listening, or speaking. But today we will get some solution, I hope, yeah, to improve our English ability, of course, to make sure that we will learn about tips for better English listening skill with our dear speaker. I don't know, teacher Andy or coach Andy. I hope she is already here with us now. Hello, teacher Andy.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Hi,
Yes,
good morning.
yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. And it's actually afternoon here, but it's the same. We have the same spirit, the morning spirit, teacher. And
yes, absolutely. Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here for a second time. I'm honored for the invitation. I have to confess that I love this morning interactions because I believe that these activities are so fulfilling, not for the students only, but for myself as a teacher. So thank you. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We also appreciate it. Yeah, truly appreciate it. How can we call you Coach Andy or Teacher Andy?
I don't mind whatever you guys feel better, because for me being a teacher or a coach are kind of like the same because when we are teachers we also are in a way coaches, whatever you
like the same
before,
thing. All right, so okay, I think Teacher Andy, yeah, so okay, okay, Kanaya, what would you like to call coach or teacher?
I personally prefer Coach Andy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's more
just
younger.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, yeah. Coach Andy.
Okay, great, Coach Andy. Hello from Indonesia. Anyway,
hi, Kanaya.
Hi. Anyway, do you still remember me, Coach?
No.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course. But yes. For me, there are like some familiar faces like Mr. Baco, of course, like Miss Prima, and yourself, of course, that I remember you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you remember me. Yes, we already met on IUTC batch 2, right? And back then you were taught us about the silent words in English letter. I remember that. I'm super happy. I'm here to meet you again and learn something new.
Okay, hopefully I would share something new with the room. I don't know if I have already the chance to share my screen. Can I share my screen, Mr. Bacco?
Gosh, Andy, now you're ready, right, for the presentation? And
yes, I am ready for the presentation. Whenever you guys allow me to get into my presentation, I will be ready.
Great. I can really wait. Time is yours, Coach Andy.
Okay, thank you. So I can start sharing my screen? Am I allowed?
Yes,
Okay,
course.
perfect. Okay, first of all, thank you for the introduction. I truly appreciate that beautiful introduction. It's so nice to be appreciated. Also, another thing that I would like to say is that my heart also go to the victims from the Java Island. So before I wanted to start, I wanted to tell you that my heart goes to them. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, let me go to my presentation. Okay. Can you all see?
Yes, we can see it clearly, Coach Andy.
Okay, very good. Okay, so as you guys can see, my presentation is about listening. So why listening? Listening is one of our skills that we undervalue the most. We always dedicate our time, our precious learning time to reading. We always give our precious time to speaking most of all. And writing, of course, but what happens to listening? For us, we just believe that this gift of listening, it's something that simply happens, and because we have the ability of it, we don't fully use it. So are you really listening or just hearing? Okay, sorry, my microphone was silenced. Okay, so I would like you guys to take a minute to read this question. Are you really listening or just hearing? Have you ever thought that there is an incredible difference? There is a huge difference between the two? Yes? Let's go and find out. If I go to, if I have a definition about hearing, it would be this. Hearing is an accidental and automatic brain response. Right now, what you guys are doing for the moment, at least momentaneously, is just hearing, for example, some noises that come from our background. You are hearing, for example, if my pen drops. That is something that we hear because those actions are involuntary and accidental, and depending on the circumstances, effortless. Hearing is the process, the function or power of perceiving sound. If in this moment we open our microphones, we might hear involuntarily the sound that may come from everybody's rooms. For example, a child zooming in the room, we can hear their voices, their giggles, or for example, another sound from a room in the house, and those are involuntarily, right? In this moment, though, I believe and I hope that you guys are listening, because to listen is to pay attention to sound, listened to music, to hear something with thoughtful attention, meaning that what does it mean, thoughtful attention? When we pay, when we're paying attention, we have at times we have a span of attention, meaning that we can focus, our focus time, it's very reduced. So whatever it is that the speaker or the focus that it's giving information to the receiver has to be interesting enough for them to continue paying attention. Also, one of the most important things about listenings is that is intentional, meaning that we do give our focus to whatever it is that we are interested in. But did you guys know that there are 7 listening styles? And why is it that for me it's important to introduce this to you? Sometimes, especially when we are second language learners, we believe that we are fault of every or that we're responsible of every step of the way that we take. And that is true to some extent. The thing is that sometimes we blame ourselves for not having a fluid progress as others might have. But we're all unique creatures, and the fact that we are unique also means we listen in a different way. Do you see those noises that are coming into the room? That's involuntary noise that we can hear, and that sometimes are a little bit distracting. Okay, getting back to our listening styles. We as humans, we are creatures that follow patterns. So basically what we called personality, or what we called habits, basically are what we intentionally and sometimes unintentionally do. So when it comes to listening, we do have styles as well. So when we're talking about discriminative listening, it's a basic listening or recognition and interpretation. What we, for example, do in the classroom that probably you guys are absolutely used to it when the teacher plays a recording, when we listen to a song for the first time, we're just getting used to that basic sounds. We are recognizing, and for me that it's so beautiful because it's a miracle itself in that moment that we are able to actually say like, okay, what is this thing that I am listening to, right? Or for example, when we turn on the TV and we start maybe, for instance, doing something in the kitchen and it's there as a background noise, we are doing in a way just discriminative listening because we are recognizing those sounds. Okay. In this case, we pass to comprehensive listening. It's when we transition to the full understanding, well, not full understanding yet, but at least to recognizing words and ideas in order to interpret them. And in this case, I am focusing this definitions for second language learners. What is the process that second language learners have? So if we are entering a conversation and we are not in full control of that target language, to have a comprehensive listening could be definitely much more difficult. And that's why some people zoom out from that conversation because they literally just disconnect because they would simply say, I don't understand in this part, right? And then going here, it's much more difficult. Therefore, I zoom out. Now, the key about listening, it's to pass from these 2 points to this point here. When we, for example, as one of the other listening styles is informational listenings, we as humans, from this point here, we pass from listening with the goal of learning and understanding something. That goes also with the motivation and how inspired we would be to listen to that person or to that message. We have to understand this, and I would like you guys to start thinking about the kind of listener that you are. You have to understand the following. Am I the kind of person who is more, number one, interested in the person who is speaking? Therefore, I would pay attention to the person and the message would go on a second place. Second, am I the kind of listener who the message is more important for me? And then the person goes to second place. Third, and this is very interesting, am I the kind of person who is more interested in how long that message is going to be? Therefore, I would pay or have an attention span that goes and be focused on that time. Or 4, am I the kind of listener who is more interested in how practical that message would be for me? So depending on the kind of listener that I am, those focus goes here. That style of becoming an informational listening is here. because it's the process where I understand, where I start learning, but depending on the kind of person who I am. Again, I will repeat, if I am more focused on the person, if I am more focused on the message, if I am more focused on the time invested, or if I'm more focused on the scope of that message. Once I have determined the kind of listener that I am in this style, I go here, critical listening. Here it's where I analyze and judge complex information. In this moment, for those that are listening, you guys probably are here, because even though we are creatures of patterns and we might be some of the 4 that I have mentioned previously, in one or another, we transition depending on the situation to one of this kind of listeners. So in this moment, because you're voluntarily here, you are doing critical listening because you are analyzing and judging this complex information that I'm sharing with you guys. Next, we have bias listening. And here's where I want everybody to open your ears for a moment. Sometimes bias listening is what it doesn't allow us to listen effectively. And let's discover why. Because we tend to listen to specific information that only we want to hear. And we have a bias, meaning that we have a tendency, we have a preference that is based on our beliefs, on our values, ethics, who we are as a person. This point here, this listening style can affect our, for example, critical listening or informational listening. So what I want us to understand that sometimes when we as listeners, like we don't understand that message or we don't get that message, is because that interference that we are getting, it's because we are being biased listeners. But don't be so hard on yourselves, because in one way or another, because we are humans, unfortunately, we have this, it's a little bit hard not to be biased, okay? But because obviously we have our own belief, we have our culture, all those things, they get in front of this skill. Now, what is it that we should do in order to, at least in this case, when we are biased listeners? Well, be a smart biased listener. What does it mean? Since we listen to specific information, what I would like to say is that here's where we work on our preferences. Okay, if I like to listen to a specific kind of podcast, a specific kind of material, of listening material, that's absolutely fine. My advice for you would be to broaden your listening material in order to not be so biased, but to balance that bias. Whenever we have a counterpoint to our own beliefs and views, our critical thinking, which is extremely important in order to actually listen cohesively and effectively, broadens, and basically we become a better listener. Then this too, it's sympathetic listening. Sympathetic listening, it's emotionally driven type of listening used when we want to establish a deep connection. What does it mean? This means, for instance, when you are a real good friend, that you listen without judging, that you are there to give support and not to give advice without being asked, to be there in a sense of just accepting what is that this person is telling us. You are doing sympathetic listening. For instance, if for those who have children, when your child is trying to tell you something, or in my case that I have worked with very little children as well, I have given them my sympathetic listening because whatever it is that they have been experimenting that day maybe fell, and for them it's important to share information with me. I had to apply my sympathetic listening to them in order for this person, the receiver, to feel that I was listening to them. It's when we feel considered. Yes, it's when we don't have the need to say, are you listening to me? Because we know this, it's a little bit more, we have a sensation that the person is really there with us. Finally, we have empathic listening, and it's a little bit similar to sympathetic, but let's not confuse sympathetic with empathic, okay? Listening to someone while understanding their feelings. In this part, it's when we, again, in relationships, and it happens very often, as students, and the relationship between students and teachers sometimes is very deep. I have my students that we have later on with time become friends, very good friends, because of course you as a teacher, you get self-involved in their journey and you want your students to succeed with all your heart. So in my case, in most of the cases, I do empathic listening in order for me to understand their needs better. And this goes in any relationship that we create. To have this empathic listening allows us as individuals not just to connect as when it happens in this stage, but here to understand, to get into the shoes of the other person. And that, my friends, is very hard because we have to subtract sometimes ourselves from the equation and really start feeling or connecting to the feeling that the person is sharing, so we can remember and say, oh yes, I have experimented it, so I know what is it that you're going through. Okay, so now that we have this little idea about listening styles, let's go here. Let's try to understand why listening is so difficult. And as I put here, it's not just you guys. So, noise. It's not just the noise of bustling city, is not just the noise of the TV on the background. We're talking here about different kinds of noise. When we're talking about physical noise, is the one that we have been accustomed to. And incredibly as the mind is, we are accustomed to shut down that noise. Therefore, if that it's very normal nowadays that we are working in an open space, an open concept office, similar to Google, or in the news room where I was used to work a long time ago. It is a confusion, yes, but we have the capability to turn that down, to mute it in a way. Well, some of us. Then we have the physiological noise. The psychological noise. Psychological noise, well, I would like to talk about this later. Let's talk about the physiological noise in a moment before I go here. Physiological noise is like, for example, am I hungry? Am I, do I need to go to the toilet? Am I cold or am I hot? Because if I am, if I'm not comfortable in the environment where I am while listening, obviously I will pay attention to those needs before actually even paying attention to the message itself. I've got to be incredibly concentrated in order to, regardless of this, to pay attention to what the person is saying. Now, I want to talk about psychological noise. Okay, I don't know about you, but for me, it's incredibly hard to meditate. I have tried yoga. Can you guys listen? Okay, because you guys froze for a moment. All right, thank you. I have tried yoga and meditating, or even when I pray, for me, it's incredibly hard to shut down my thoughts. And this is what psychological noise, very simplistically explained, is. Psychological noise is when we are, for example, when you're praying or when you are, trying to meditate and you're like, what about my grocery list? And did I this is a true question that happens to me. Did I turn off the lights in my living room, or did I left them on? Or another one is like, did I send that email? So we start thinking about random things that we're not really connecting with the message. And that is when we don't leave that noise out of the room. That's why, for example, for me, it's very important when I engage with my students at the beginning in the classroom to do some physical activity. My warm-ups are really physical. So we release some endorphins and we leave that outside. But when we are on our own at home, trying to do a listening activity, I bet that you guys sometimes, well, this happens, unfortunately. And finally, semantic noise. Semantic noise is what happens to us second language learners when we have the interference of not getting, not understanding the vocabulary, the words that we're being exposed to. And it will sound something like this. And I am going to do this. Okay, so hello everybody, my name is Andy. I've been a teacher for over a decade. This is what semantic noise would be. Do you see? It's like somebody turning on and off that mic, making your listening ineffective and therefore hard and distracting, and then switching off automatically. It's kind of like, okay, I can do this, so I'm out, right? So that's the feeling that most of us actually have. So understand that it's not because, oh, I don't understand English, or I'm a failure. No, there are some incredibly huge reasons why we affect our listenings. And can I tell you something to make you feel maybe a little bit better? Well, maybe this is a little bit Anglo-Saxon culture, that we have to blame somebody else from our faults. Yeah, somebody else takes the responsibility. Let me tell you something. In schools, unfortunately, we don't train our listening skills that much. Actually, it's one of those skills that it's forgotten. It's there. We just use it as a company to any of the other skills. When I talk about the other skills is writing, speaking, and reading. Yes, I mean, right now we even have audiobooks, for crying out loud. So it's kind of like we're doing it both instead of just doing the listening, right? So yeah, take it from there. Okay, so attention spans. We are unique individuals and every person has a very specific attention span, but also intentionally we say, okay, for example, for those who have Instagram or for those who have TikTok or YouTube or use YouTube, sometimes when we are trying to find some sort of information, we pay a minimum amount of time to that information that we're going to receive in order to discard if it's interesting for us or not to pay attention to. And that's it. If it's not interesting for us, we just tune off. So when we're if we are in a meeting, yes, for those that work in offices, or in my case, I have to confess, I'm not very proud about it, but I do remember some teacher sessions. Oh my gosh. I honestly, my attention span was like of the room, and I started, to have my psychological noise, and I started thinking about my grocery list. So yes, it's sometimes we do it because we are tired. It also has to do with being tired. It's not just about if you like or not the person. So yeah, attention spans also influence our listening. And then, as we mentioned before, the receiver bias. As speakers, we have to understand to whom we're talking to. For example, in my case, as an invited host, I have to consider to whom I'm talking to. I'm talking to teachers, I'm talking to second language learners who wants to be in the room, and they are interested in learning, well, in this case, how to listen better. Well, if my room would be about people who are interested in other topics, not this one, saying all this, doing all this introduction before our practice would be an incredible waste of their time. And then going back here, yes, because they would feel annoyed. Yes, they would start thinking, why is this person talking about this if we are not here for this reason? And then you start saying, well, you start thinking, I don't like this person's, I don't know, attitude, body language. We start thinking in other distractors, and well, going back here, attention span, totally lost. Okay, then listening apprehension. When we're talking about our listening apprehension, is that it's the fear to not understand the other person. And before even giving ourselves the chance to listen, we immediately say, I don't understand, because that happens to me. I have students that I put on a recording, and it's like a 20 seconds recording. They get so overwhelmed with the fact that they have to give an answer that they shut down. And in this case, for example, they're not able to adapt their thinking and start receiving that information, because I'm always telling them, what is the matter when we're in this stage? What is the matter? Do you understand the global? Did you catch at least a few words? No, nothing. So for me, it's kind of like, this is what's going on. Yes. So we start doing other things before, and this is where, for the teachers in the room, before this happening, we always have to warm up, to give them some vocabulary. You guys know the drill. That's for them to feel more comfortable at least. And always remember this. I always like to go from the big to little. What does it mean? Our compasses should go from big to little, meaning that it's more important, obviously, depending on the activity, to understand the global meaning of what it's been listened, and then to pay attention to the details. Details meaning the vocabulary, that phrase that you say, oh, that's something that I would like to recycle. That should be our natural process. So let's not overwhelm over the words that we cannot understand, rather than understanding the full message, because in the end, that is what a conversation is about, to understand the message. Okay, and if you don't understand something, just say it or paraphrase. Did you mean this? So you can reinforce that information. Okay, enough about me speaking. Now it's your turn. Okay, so let's warm up. Okay, as I said before, I want you guys to, for a moment, think about these, and those who want to participate and share with the room their answers about these questions would be incredibly interesting for my research, because I normally ask these questions to people around the world, for my students and people that I connect with on Instagram. So please look at these questions. Have you found ways to filter out a distraction? Meaning, in the time that you need to focus and that you say, okay, maybe I'm a little cold, or maybe I'm a little hungry, or the thoughts gets into your brain, or maybe you don't like the speaker that much, all those distractions, right? How have you filtered out that distraction? How have you done it? Share it with the room. Question number 2. What strategies have you successfully used to minimize specific psychological noise? This is more specific.
Excuse me,
Yes?
Shandy, for interrupting. Is there the questions on the slide, or you just say directly?
I beg your pardon?
We don't see the questions on the screen. So
you don't see it?
Yes.
Oh, so weird. Yeah, because for example, did you guys see the last one? Did you guys see this?
Not yet, I guess. It's still, this is why it's so hard, and then noise, physical,
yeah, okay.
psychological, that one.
Okay.
Physiological, semantic, attention span.
Have you guys been looking at the presentation all at this so far, or not, or just me?
Already we did, but the last one.
Okay, thank God. I was so scared. I was like, I thought that I was not, like clicking without showing the presentation.
We listened.
Okay, so this one, let's see. How about now? Still don't see the questions?
Yeah, we're still on the previous slide.
Or probably we're just listening to you. The questions.
All right. Well, thank
practice.
you, Prima. Thank you, Miss Prima. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. Okay, guys. So I will ask you the questions. Write it down if you want. Mr. Bacchus has the presentation, so he can share it with you later on if you want. Okay. So in this case, first question: have you found ways to filter out a distraction? That is the first one. Second question: what strategies have you successfully used to minimize specific psychological noise? Meaning, what is it that you have done when you have to be concentrated and focused about something, and then unfortunately you start thinking about that you have an exercise in a few days, that you have to do the laundry, okay? How do you shut down that noise? And then the last question: what biases, and this is a hard one, okay? What biases do I have as a listener? What biases do I have as a listener? Okay, so I want everybody to give yourself a chance to think about it for a second, and I would love you guys to participate. Maybe the host, yes, Miss Prima, if you like, you can open the room and
Yes. Okay. So please, everyone, you can just maybe type down the answers on the chat room. Can we, Coach Andy?
Yes, of course.
Or yes, you can just answer it directly. Yeah. Or
yes, exactly. Let me open.
Yes. The first question. Pardon. Can you please type down the questions on the chat room, Coach Andy?
Yes, just give me a second. So in order to do that, let me close my presentation.
Okay.
And okay.
If I want to get away from the noises that you said for the first question, I just be focused on what I am writing. So I will hear nothing. Even if my daughter said something to me, Mommy, I want something, blah, blah, blah. I didn't listen to her. I just typed down and focused on the structure or the correctness of my, I don't know, grammar probably, or anything.
Yeah, I mean, that is very normal because since you are already used also to your daughter's voice, or your husband's, and sometimes when we have to repeat the messages because we kind of know that that person was not really there. Okay, let me write down, let me type the questions as you guys ask. Okay. Okay, have you guys found ways to filter. I don't know why the Zoom right now is a little frozen. Can you hear me?
Fine. Yes, we can hear you.
By the way, what is happening right now, that I have broken a little bit the flow. This is question number
maybe
one.
you have
someone.
Okay, maybe you have to. Maybe you have to. Maybe
There,
you have to out first and back again.
Okay, all right. Well, in the meantime, that is question number one. Let me get out and get in again. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I will be back in a second.
Thank you. Do you see the question on the chat room?
Not yet. Unfortunately, not yet.
No. No, okay. Oh, I should type it, yeah, just now. So
probably she will send it right after she came.
Right after
back
she,
yeah.
Back. Okay. Anyway, it's so interesting, you know, Kanaya, because I just knew that there are some styles in listening.
Listening and noise.
I thought it's just hearing is listening, and then it's the same. It is the same type of listening, but it's different actually.
Yeah,
really different.
Okay, I'm here, guys. Hello.
Oh, she's back.
Yes, welcome back, Coach
Yes,
Andy.
hi. Okay, so did you guys have the? I need to go. Can somebody open the possibility for me to go back to the presentation, please?
Okay.
Thank
Do you mean by okay?
So I don't know if you guys had the chance to read the first question that I wrote on the chat.
All right, great.
Did you read it?
I haven't find it. Wait.
Okay, maybe this time we're luckier. Perhaps you can see my screen better now. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
we can see. Can you see the questions now? No.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. So these are the questions. So have you found ways to filter out a distraction? What strategies have you successfully used to minimize specific psychological noises? And what biases do I have as a listener? Whoever wants to answer the first, the second, or the third question would be more than welcome, so you can help me with my research. So who wants to go first? Typical teacher, like, who want to go first? And everybody's like, I don't want to.
Well, you go first. Yes, please, everyone. We would really appreciate it if you can answer the questions. All right. You just can raise your hands and then answer it.
Yes.
Any question, right, Teacher Andy?
Any of the questions.
Any of
yes.
the questions.
Yeah, whatever you feel more comfortable answering. You can write it down or just open your microphone and answer. Thank you.
It's leaking. Okay. So how about you, Kanaya? I said that if I want to filter out the distraction, I just focus on what I'm writing.
For me, I'm trying to let myself alone in a room.
Okay.
So that's why there's no distraction around me, and yeah, I can get focused.
Yeah.
Because I'm type of person who get easier to get distracted. So I have to prepare that if I want to be focused, I have to prepare my room that there's only me in that room. No one allowed to get in the room when I have to focus or need to focus in learning something or else.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think I will do that strategy too.
Okay, we're starting to receive here some answers
Yes.
to question to this for what strategies to minimize the psychological noise. Abdul Aziz, thank you for giving us your feedback.
Abdul Aziz, yes.
Yes. The strategy is focused to
the aim.
You feel anything. Okay, so you can exactly focusing on the scope. Yeah, I think that we have listener type 4 here. That is like a practical person. Like, okay, I'm going to pay attention only. It's because I want to get what is it that I'm going to get out of that listening. Then we have from Ahmad Jafar. My strategy to minimize specific psychological noises is to write out anything what I thought or things I want to do. This is very interesting advice. Guys, can I tell you something? There is, what he's saying is actually a thing. And in the morning, and this is something that I normally do. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do it very often, but these are just, it's kind of like when we keep a journal, when we have a diary. Yes. So instead of having a diary, or call it a diary, if you don't want to call it like that, it's just, like all the things that you have to write down, and it can be like anything, Post-its, just write them down. So you empty that, you allow your mind to empty itself, and you are not distracted with those thoughts because they're there on the piece of paper. That is one way that you can minimize noise. Yes, very, very good advice.
Another answer from Nonki Nurhayati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I answer number 1? Yes, Abdul, you can. Noenki is saying, make a specific aim. 2, focus on what you want to get. 3, make a good step by step. 4, make a good details for each item. Yes, but you know what? The thing is that a lot of teachers, and this is where we're going to move to the next slide, okay? Because these questions, I really want you guys to take it with you to analyze your listening skills. Which, by the way, it's a thing that now we in universities such as like MIT, Harvard, Berkeley, high standard universities, we're starting to get back to gaining and practicing the listening skills. So what is the problem? A lot of teachers are not specific. It's kind of like, the question, what can I do to improve my listening skill? Typical, right? And a lot of teachers, go watch a movie, go watch a TV series, listen to songs. I mean, that it's okay if you have a certain level, but how about if you already have a certain level, but then you cannot break through the listening wall? Well, let's move here. Guys, are you really listening? Let's find out. Probably you guys have heard about reductions. To be quite specific, reductions or linguistic reductions are those sounds in natural English speaking specifically that are such as contractions that we are already used to, right? But one of the reasons why we cannot understand fast speakers is because they use lots of reductions. And a reduction is something that looks like this. Here are just some examples that I want you guys to take home with you, okay? Because of course, this is phonetically, all right? I try to do my best to make it phonetically. I took the information, I borrowed the information from this wonderful page over here that if you guys, you can search later on. And for instance, instead of don't you, yes, hello? Okay, instead of saying don't you, we would say don't ya or don't ya, yeah? Or instead of can't you, we would say something like can't ya. If you as a student are not used to this reduction, obviously that there will be an interference and the message in your head would be, oh no, all the time that I've spent in the classroom has been wasted because I still cannot understand a native speaker. And let me tell you something, as an international English speaker that you are, it's important for you to know that this exists, but it doesn't mean that you have to sound like this, okay? This is because in English speaking countries, okay, their natural way to approach certain expressions are in this way, and they are reduced, okay? And to make it even more interesting, depending on the English speaking country, it will change because accent is a factor. The cultural background of that country, or not even the country, let's talk about the state or the place where you are, is a factor. So just understand this, okay? Just understand the linguistic reduction as something that exists, and it could be one of the reasons you are not understanding or fully understanding something, okay? The typical would you becomes would ya or would ya, yes? Depending on where you are, you would say would ya or would ya, yes? Could you becomes could ya or could ya, yes? How about this one, yes? You and did, the same thing, yes? What did ya or what did ya, yes? Or why did you, or how, in this case, how did you is how did ya, yes? So is it makes more sense? Does it ring a bell that you're like, oh, this is the reason why? So there you have it. I left this here, okay? So you guys can practice. Or for instance, the famous, instead of saying kind of, we say kinda. Or instead of saying lots of, we say lots of, yeah? Or out of, typical out of. Let's get out of here, yeah? Let's go to the park. Let's get out of here, yeah? Typical. Another one, there you go. Instead of saying going to, you're more familiarized with this one, gonna or gotta. Hey, and by the way, for those that are thinking that it's slang or it's not proper, please remove that thought from your heads. Obviously, there is a time and a place, and I always invite students to fully use their sentences, but using gonna, gotta, have to, this is not incorrect. It's just what you're going to listen as a receiver when you are in a fast-paced conversation. That's it. Typical here, instead of listening and, you listen and you listen the letter, or it's like yes. This one's over here. Gimme, yes. In a typical ABBA song, give me a reason. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song, but there you have it. There it is. Or this one over here, instead of let me tell you, let me tell you, let me tell you, right? Okay. Then we have here, yes, all these other reductions, yes? Let's go to the mall. Let's go to the mall instead of to the mall or the shopping center. Yes, we would say to, yes? And again, please take this as examples because the sound will vary depending who is the speaker, okay? Where the speaker is from. So I don't know, I'm going, talking, eating, yes? Have you heard the famous logo, McDonald's logo, I'm loving it?
Yes.
Instead of saying
Yeah.
I'm loving it, there you go, loving, yeah, a reduction. Okay, and here's where I want to give you guys some valuable, advice so you can work and practice at home, okay? A lot of teachers would tell them, yes, go and hear a TED Talk, go and hear a podcast, go watch a movie. But what is it that you guys have to do in order to actually make it a learning experience? So this is my advice. First, why TED Talks? Because it is available, it's online, it's free. That's the beauty of the TED Talks. You just go to the page and you have an infinite amount of resource there. Now, you are going to be exposed to quality. Okay, you're going to be exposed to quality listening. You are going to be able to recycle vocabulary. The transcripts are there and you can use in multiple ways. Let me show you how. Now, right now we are in TED Talks page, aren't we? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
Coach Andy, yes.
Thank you. So as you can see, we have lots of options. We normally would go here. We would click here, yes, and we are in, yes, it's wonderful. So we can make it specific. We can go by topic, alphabetically. How awesome is that? Okay, so imagine that, for example, I want to talk about aliens, all right, because I'm interested about that, and I want to do it, of course, in English, but I know myself and my attention span doesn't go over 6 minutes, okay? Or I rather keep it short, okay? I go here and this is what I have available. Let's say that I choose this one over here, okay? Now I am ready to do my listening. What is it that you guys have to do? Normally, they have the subtitles, which, by the way, different from YouTube, that they have auto-generated subtitles that sometimes can be extremely confusing for second language learners because the spelling is wrong. Here, you will have the right spelling, so perfect. So first, you listen. Yes, we're going to do the kind of listening that it's just recognizing the sounds, the information in order to have our critical thinking rolling. What happens? I understand the general message, right? But what happens when I want to go and focus on the vocabulary, or you heard something that it was not very clear and you want to go back? Well, we just go and click the transcript, okay? And here it's what I love about this page. You just go ahead and click on the line where you got lost and it will reproduce. For example,
in fact, Mars is considered to be too dry for life as we know.
You see, instead of, going back or not knowing very well where the minute was, okay? Instantly, this is going to improve your pronunciation, because obviously, of course, depending on who the speaker is, because that is one of the other beauties of TED Talk. They have multiple speakers around the world, and this is going to help you be exposed to different accents, meaning that do you remember when we were talking about listening apprehension, that sometimes it's like with interference? Accent is a huge interference sometimes, because we are used to listen to certain accents, and when we get exposed to other accents, we are like totally lost. Now, this is going to help you big time. Yes, this is one of the things. Extra bonus tip. If you, for example, want to take it to another level, you're listening and practice, okay? And this can be individual or in the classroom, all right? You can take a paragraph and you're going to tell your students, or if you are an independent learner, you're going to sit down and say, okay, I right now want to copy this, but instead of copying this, okay, you're just going to play it and use it as a dictation, okay? So for example, imagine that we are doing this paragraph over here.
So I had a unique advantage when I started studying this desert. So let me tell you just a few fantastic examples he has found.
Okay, so you click that one, and then as a dictation, you repeat it a second time, but no cheating, okay? Meaning whatever it is that you catch, okay? This is going to help your process, okay? who are at university right now or in a higher level of studies, taking notes, and that's why I insist on the dictation. Taking notes is extremely important because in that case, when you mix writing and you take notes appropriately, to understand and to remember, it's going to be easier. Therefore, the same here, you're going to remember the vocabulary easier, making easier to, again, remember these words in another context and another time. Okay, so that is my advice for TED Talks, okay? Now, going back here, the last advice would be this: podcast, okay? Now, podcast is indeed a universe of variety where you guys can practice focused listening. But wrong, not all podcasts are worthy of our time. So I suggest over here some places where you, and they have a free version, obviously with ads and publicity and all that, but hey, it's free. So in this case, you can choose to go to any of these places, or for example, the BBC has a podcast session that is really great as well. And that you can do the following. You can create a listening challenge, because this is what I talk about focused learning. Because a lot of teachers would say, oh, go and listen. In this case, focused learning, create a listening challenge for a week, and then 15 days, or then a month. Try to listen to different topics, different accents, different speakers. First time span though, okay? Don't make it over a 30 minutes, because then remember about attention spans, they get lost. So that is my advice for you. Okay, especially because we're going to have conversational style, which is what we have in real life. We're going to be exposed to accents, and we're going to have a multiple channel dialogue, all right, which is going to increase our understanding. Okay, so that would be it.
Wow, wonderful. Okay. Yes, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation,
thank you,
Coach Andy, and we are enjoying it. We enjoyed your presentation, and it's time for us, I guess, yeah, for our next session. But from your presentation, as a teacher now, I knew that there are different styles of listening, and I guess if I want to teach listening to the students, I think I should know what styles or what kind or what styles are their listening style. And
letting them know, and more importantly, letting your students know, because this is, you know, learning a language is a psychological process as well as emotional. And if you know that it's not just your fault that you're not following, or that this is going to be motivational. You're not going to feel demotivated, because you know that there are external factors that are, you know, like interfering in your learning process. So this is very important to let our students know, especially, and or if you are a student, it's important for them to know this, because it's going to be motivating instead of demotivating.
Yeah, yes, sure. Thank you so much for the tips and information. But now I can see that the participants can't wait yet to get into this session.
That's right. Okay, viewers, this time we have 30 minutes for asking questions to Coach Andy. And don't forget, again, I want to remind you, on the last 10 minutes, we will do the attendance form. So make sure you're still with us till the end. Well, if you guys are having questions, that of course still related to the topic we have talked about, which is tips for better English listening skill, we are allowing you to directly ask our speaker right now. So please click the raise hand feature on your Zoom first before asking the question. Don't forget to unmute your microphone and introduce yourself. Tell us what is your name and which school or country you came from.
And then also you can type down your question through the chat room, yeah, you're on the Zoom. Yes, please, everyone.
Come on, ask your question, guys. And let this great chance
Hello.
pass.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Who is this? Yes, please, can you say your name, sir? Or I saw that from the chat room, Mr. Deden would like to ask Coach Andy directly. Oh, from Ardian, already raised his hand. Please, Ardian, you can say directly to Coach Andy your question.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Before I ask my question, I would like to say thank you so much to Coach Andy for the explanation. Like you explained about kind of listening and also kind of noise and sharing some tips, and it's totally useful for me actually. Especially, I'm actually having a problem in handling distraction. Yeah, and I know there are a lot of kind of distraction here, from physical until listening apprehension. Thank you so much for that. And anyway, my question is actually I just want to confirm that you explained about kind of listening from discriminative and until empathic listening. So right here I get like almost the same. I get two things that in my opinion is almost the same. And it's about sympathetic listening and also empathic listening. So I think from your explanation that I don't know, I just want to confirm, yeah. These both involve emotions, like in sympathetic listening, when you actually driven type, like you want to build a deep connection with a person, while empathetic, like you said, it's understanding one feeling. So what is the difference between these two? Is it the same, or there is something different about it?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Teacher Ardian. You were in the previous class too, right? When I did my silent letters, am I right?
Oh, yes, you have a really good
Hi, nice to see you again. Hi.
Yeah,
thank you
nice
for
to
your
see you.
question. There is a lot of misunderstanding. That's why I put them there on purpose, because a lot of people, to sympathize is not the same to empathize. Okay, when you sympathize, it's because it's kind of like you have, imagine that you and I were having coffee, okay, and you are telling me about whatever it is that, I don't know, a bad day in class with your students, okay? So I can sympathize with you because I am simply, listening, and I am sympathizing because I am feeling and connecting with you by just doing deep listening. Meaning, I am not going to share or give you any advice that you have not asked. I am just listening. That's why I mentioned about being a good friend. It's when we have sympathizing listening. Okay. To empathize, it's something that, of course, goes hand by hand. Okay, because once that you have done sympathized listening, you go and do empathic listening. Why? Because in this moment, it's where I put myself in your shoes and I would understand the feeling. Therefore, if there would be an interchange of ideas, like me telling you it's okay, it was just a bad day, remember when, okay? This is us going to a deeper emotional level when we are connecting, but over the same experience based on what we have listened. Well, in my case, what I have listened, okay? Imagine that we're in the scenario of the coffee. So yes, it's not that, there is a very subtle line, there is a nuance, okay, very little nuance between the two, but it's kind of like, I would say, first is sympathetic listening and then empathic listening, but it's not necessarily that you have to do empathic listening after sympathized listening.
Yes. All right. Okay. It's clear. Thank you so much, Coach Andy.
Thank you, Teacher Arden.
Wow, interesting. Yes. So, but I kind of wonder, yeah. Oh, but first, is there anyone else who would like to ask questions? Kamay, do you see a question from the chat room? No?
Not yet, I guess.
I just wonder, can we, Coach Andy, make our student to be sympathized or empathy to our words or anything that we deliver to them, so they can easily involve to what I say, and then they get easily understand like that?
Absolutely, because again, you're asking you as teacher, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in this case is the typical know your audience. Your students are your audience, and you have to get to know your students, their interests as a group and then individually. Because that is part of the job of being a teacher, because if you don't take the time to know who are you going to teach, you're going to have a neutral material, which is a book. You're going to have your course book, and that is neutral because this is just a tool that we can apply as we see fit in the classroom. Now, how can we make that tool valuable and interesting to the student that you know very well, especially if they are teenagers, they're going to be like, yes,
that's right.
And they're like, oh my God, another day at school, right?
I don't understand English. I don't know what saying like that.
Exactly. Instead of telling them that they have to learn English because it's important for their future, right? Let's imagine, let's talk about teenagers, and in a way this example goes to young adults as well, because we adults, well, to transition from the teenager stage sometimes takes time. We have to, instead of saying that, how about if we get them involved with something that make their minds curious? For example, do you know who their favorite singers are? Do you know, for example, who, if they are readers, I mean, are your students readers, avid readers? Or if they're not, have you introduced them to some interesting new fantasy novels? I mean, we have to, especially young adults and teenagers, they work very well with novelties. And the key for me, in order for them to sympathize, in order later on to empathize with me as a teacher, it's that I do the classes or do the activities and keep them short. Like the listening, I am not like 40 minutes listening lesson. Yes, as it may happen for exams, right? That they're like 40 minutes listening to people, talking and questions or whatever. That is very long. So yeah, and I use a lot of music in the classroom all the time.
All right. Thank you so much for your deep explanation. And here we already have a question. Can I on the chat?
We have the question from the chat room from Mr. Fatir Firmansyah. May I read the question, Miss?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. He said, hello, I'm Fatir from Polewali. I got from Coach Andy explanation that listening serves a number of possible purposes, and the purpose of listening will depend on the situation and the nature of communication. Okay. Language learners like me need these skills more. Coach Andy, do you have any tips for me and for other students how to activate our effective listening for academic purposes?
Yeah. The first, and this is a very important question. Thank you so much for asking it. Look, when we want to start activating or working on our listening skills, we always have to ask ourselves, what is my purpose? Okay, that's why I mentioned the challenge. What is your purpose today? Do you want to focus on just what is the general meaning? Did I get it? Did I actually understood what is it that have been said in the recording or in the podcast or in the TED Talk? I mean, did I actually understand what is it that it has been presented to me? If that is your focus, then you have done the practice correctly. But if your focus it's based on vocabulary, meaning how many words do I recognize from this recording, listening, etc. I recommend to do it with something that we have heard in the past, okay? In order for us to actually pay attention to secondary things, such as words that we didn't know that they were there. It has happened to me that I have a favorite TV show and I have discovered words that I say like, oh, they said this, right? I actually just talked about this in class, an expression maybe that am I aware of it? Because finally it's in my head. And if something is not in your head, probably it's going to be more difficult to realize. So you have two ways to either, in this case specifically, establish a very specific focus, like what is your purpose that you're doing that listening for? Because it's not the same to do a listening in a conversation like we're doing in this moment or in a classroom. It's not the same to develop our listening as if we are preparing for an exam, which, for example, when I prepare my students for exams, it's very hard because I have to listen to very specific information through a wide range of distractors. And I mean, what is it that you're training for? Once that you have established that, well, then it's going to be easier to have a practical, exercise, or to get into a practical exercise. I hope that I answer your question.
Who is it? Kanaya, you can ask directly the person whether it is enough and unclear.
Fathir.
Fathir, yes.
Yes, it was Fathir.
Okay. There is yes, from Putra Bagaskara, please. Please unmute and then ask directly to Coach Andy. Putra? Oh, okay. Please, so you can type down, okay? If you can unmute the microphone and then open the camera.
Yes, Fathir is saying thank you for
thank
the
you,
tips.
yes, for the tips.
Anytime,
Yeah.
glad to help.
Okay, Putra, you can unmute and then open the camera. Oh, you cannot unmute yourself? Can we have any help from the operator to unmute Putra? Or is it a student or no, I don't know. Or
apparently they're saying that the host is not allowing the audience to unmute.
Oh, okay. The host is not allowing audience to unmute themselves. Yes, the host, please. Because I'm not the host here, unluckily. It's written down that I'm the host, but I do not have the control. Yes, already. Hello. Or probably you can just type down.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, udah bisa ya. Okay, right. Thank you. Yes, Putra. Sir Putra or Kak Putra? Oh, still can't. Yeah, he's unmute himself. You can firstly type down
on the chat room while we are waiting the host to let the participants unmute. Ya, tapi Erminilda, you can unmute yourself. Oh no. Okay. Hello. Hello there. Okay. Can you unmute yourself now?
Oh, there is
No.
something interesting that Abdul Aziz is saying. Hey, Fatir, I may add the answer to the answer that I gave. You should have more new vocabulary. If you don't know the words, go and find them in a dictionary. Oh, dictionaries. Yes, but just be careful, okay? Because sometimes dictionaries don't give us the full context where we heard that word or expression. So first of all, if you're going to find the word, if it's one word, go to an official dictionary. This is extremely important. And second of all, if you heard an expression, if you just go to Google right now, can I show you? Can I show you something?
Sure,
okay.
opportunity.
Because this is something that I normally do with my students. Okay, you have your Google bar, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I would always advise you say, like, for example, I don't know, happiness in a sentence. If you write down the word in a sentence, okay, it's where you are going to have more examples. There okay, here, word hippo. Word hippo is very nice because it actually gives really good examples. So here you have synonyms, antonyms, definitions, yes, rhymes, etc. The pronunciation, I mean, it's very, very nice. And you can see it in a variety of contexts, different from, you know, just finding it in a traditional dictionary, which are great, but here you have a wider variety. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you for the advice, said Fatir. Yes, Miss Yuli Lapansari from Ponorogo, you may ask question there.
Hello, thank you so much. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, Miss Yuli.
Okay, thank you so much for Miss Prima and Kanaya for giving me the opportunity. And thank you so much, Coach Andy. This is the second time I joining your class. And also I'm one of your follower in Andy Everyday English. It's really good for you.
Yes,
for
hi,
me.
Miss Yuli. Hi, hello.
Today I have problem about listening, especially to differentiate between word and the sound, and almost same, and also about accent. You know, just where I always get low score in the listening when I join the TOEFL test. Understand? Can you give me some trick, especially in the long listening? Is it difficult to understand? Yeah, just why I always got low score in the long listening, long script. This one. Thank you.
Okay, happy to help, Miss Julie. Okay, here the answer is super easy, because when we have long listenings, imagine that we go, I don't know, we attend a symposium, and we go there because our scope, the reason why we went to this symposium is, I don't know, mindfulness, okay? And then you have the speaker going on and on and on, 1, 2 hours, and yes, nonstop, right? But in that case, here it's where attention spans switches off because we're like, okay, this person is talking over 2 hours and I still hadn't got anything, right? In your case, for specific listening, which is what you ask about the exam, the answer is super easy. Remember that the key, it's in the question that it's being asked, okay? And sometimes you get lost in the long listening because you're trying to pay attention to the distractors instead of paying attention and focus where the question, what the question is asking you. Okay, because we as listeners, okay, we're like, oh, I'm going to pay attention and I have to pay attention to every word. Well, that's not exactly true, at least for exams, okay? When we're doing, for example, sympathetic listening, yes, probably the devil is in the details, right? We have to really pay attention to what a friend is saying. But in exams, the answer is relatively easy because if you have understood your question well, you will find there is a 85-90% chance that you will find the answer easier and faster, even if it's a long listening. Yes?
Yes.
And about accents, I think that I didn't address the accent thing. Normally, I would say to expose yourself to a variety of accents. But if your target, because for example, maybe you want to emigrate to Canada, maybe you want to emigrate to the States, to the United States, to specifically one of the states, yes? I mean, try listening on YouTube people from that area, or maybe you want to go to Australia or to South Africa or to the Caribbean where they speak English too. Try to get recordings in order for you to get familiarized to the cadence, the vocabulary, because cadence is the rhythm, okay guys, in case that for those that are students don't know what that is, that we sometimes vary, well sometimes no, we definitely vary when depending on where we're from. So if you are specifically going to a place where you know that you're going to be more exposed to one specific accent, go ahead and listen to that accent, okay? I'm not saying that the others are not important. I'm saying that for your personal purposes, that's the one that you have to focus on in order to train your ear, okay? I think that it was Miss Prima who was saying that sometimes when her daughter was speaking, she was like, okay, whatever it is that you're saying, I'm doing my thing. Yes, it's because she's already used to that. So she mutes that sound because it's not necessary for her to pay attention in that very moment. Well, something more or less happens with accents that we don't know. For her, it was already familiar, the voice of her daughter, her accent, everything. Yes, so she doesn't. And in the end, as mothers, we would get the message even if we were not really listening,
Yes.
but that is context.
That is correct.
Yes, but it's because you were doing, in a way, you are already bonded and linked to your daughter. So then the communication flows differently. You see?
Yes, yes.
So there.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Anytime, Ms. Lee. All right, I think that we have another another
We
question.
have,
I don't know.
Mr. Putra is probably still can't unmute his microphone, but he already typed down his question. So thank you for Mr. Putra. And I'm gonna read his question for Miss Andy.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Coach Andy, I wanna ask some questions. Nowadays, especially in Indonesia, our teenagers were afraid to speak in English. Okay, wait a minute. The question was, okay. Our teenagers were afraid to speak in English because a lot of them got bullied. So how we practice our English if the best method to practice our English is by talking to people so we can have two-way dialogue.
Okay. I think that this is a multiple kind of question, okay? The problem here is not the fact that you're speaking in English. The problem here is it's external, yes, and it's the people who bully in many cases. It's because they don't understand the reasons why you're doing something. okay? And those who, for example, have the opportunity, because I think that those who are exposed to a different language are privileged. Those who are learning a second language, such as English, French, Italian, whatever it is, that language that they're German that they want to learn, it's a privilege. And maybe these children are being bullied because maybe they're not, they cannot access to that privilege, number one. And number two, it's because it's what they're getting from home. And I'm talking specifically about teenagers. And then this later translates in adulthood. Because we have it so embedded in our minds, the feeling that we have from home. Yes, that because, for instance, I am not from Spain. I am based in Spain, and here you might think that people are already used to speaking English, which is true. There has been an enormous evolution in it, but I still hear parents saying like, potato, yes, English, no English, whatever. It's kind of like sending your child to swimming school. It's kind of like whatever, right? Instead of saying that this is a tool for life, as it is swimming. Because I mean, if you don't know how to swim, well, that's a complication, right? But that's why I compare it. They are both important. And I think that they are biased because of what they're getting from home. What to do? To the person or to the people, the group that are actually listening to English, that are learning English, my advice to them is always to move forward. We all have our own personal plans in life. And unfortunately, there is always going to be somebody that is going to discourage you. So this is just something that you have to move forward and, step aside from it. And I do understand that as a teenager is twice or 3 times more complicated than it can be as an adult, because they are still developing their mechanisms, their social mechanisms, and it can be extremely hard. But that's our job as teachers, to also locate the bully and, get into terms with them, like, hey, I see what you're doing. And instead of only punishing the bully, try to understand why the bully is bullying in the first place. That's what I would say.
Right. So I think Putraya will have the message or the answer clearly, and we will still have our last question for this Q&A session. So please, Farel Adinfa. Please, this is the last question from Farel. Gracias, Coach Andy from Putra. Oh, sí, gracias. Oh, yes.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Farel.
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. So, hi, Coach. My name is Farel. I just want to ask you, how's different between learning listening skills from informal activities like social media with a lot of reduction, and learning listening skills from a formal activities like a seminar, school, courses, and etc. And what do you think is more important between that two? Because sometimes what we learn in school or in courses is totally different of what we hear from the English native speaker. Thank you.
Okay, what a beautiful question. All right, I'm loving all your questions. It's because they're so important. Now, first, I'm going to address something. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what you think. Okay, what is it that you believe is more important and what you need as an individual and a student, okay, or a person who is a second language learner, because they are absolutely different. And that's why, for example, I recommended TED Talks and I recommended podcasts, because you can have a much more academical approach, or you can have a, kind of like a radio show kind of approach, right? So both are very informal. I mean, in a way, when it's like a radio talk show, for instance, that's an informal situation, listening that you're going to be exposed to, which it's great because that's what you in a cafeteria with people your age, in a much more relaxed informal situation, you will be exposed to. And it's important that you are exposed to that because to answer the second part, like, okay, about academical listening, that it's very specific as well, the vocabulary that that are going to be exposed, the reductions are not that much expected. The cadence, the pace, it's totally different. So what I advise is to do both because they're absolutely two different environments, okay, that you will need. One, because you as a student would need the academical approach, and then as a regular human being to have a social interaction, you will have that as well. And if you use the academical approach in your regular social interactions, you might have a little bit of rejection because of the formality. Likewise, if you are extremely informal and you use it in an academical environment, that's why I always say there is a time and a place. When I was explaining reductions, I am not saying that they belong to slang because they're not. They're just part of natural English speaking. But for example, if in my case, I barely use reductions. Because why? Because that's part of my personality too. I normally use reductions maybe with, people, like my family members or something like that, that it's absolutely total relaxed environment for me. But as a norm, for me, I would go towards the academical, but because that is already in me. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pharrell.
Wow, wonderful. So, well, the questions and answers are great and interesting, right, Naya?
Yeah, that's right. Along with reading, writing, and speaking, listening is one of the key that we need to master if we want to master the English language, right? But however, it is also a skill that many learners struggle with, including me. But for sure, the tips that already given by Coach Andy will help us in our betterment of English. Really. Okay.
Sure.
That's
So,
all for Q&A.
Yes. So because of this interesting session, without even realizing that the time is running out, and before we close first, we all still want to hear the expressions, and of course, honestly, Coach Andy, I'm in love with the way you explain all the thing, and then the accent also, because your English as a Spanish, right? It's really excellent, and you're inspiring us.
Well, I know that this is a typical mistake. It's just that English is my dominant primary language. That's but I grew up in a bilingual home, and this is important to reinforce. Yes, because I grew up in a bilingual home, meaning that I was exposed to multiple languages while growing up. But as a dominant language, mine is it's English, and of course, my accent, if it's more Americanized, but because I grew up most of my life there, so that's why that's my accent, and because of my parents, of course. But that's
okay, yeah. Now we knew then. Okay, but before everything, we will hear some words from participants. Okay, but let's have a big applause first for Coach Andy. You can just click the reaction there. And then let's hear words from participants, and then the impression after joining the ITC Batch 3 with Coach Andy. Okay, so we will have a participant from Indonesia first. Ahmad Kausar. Hello? Or Alisa Rahmawati. Nice name. Alisa, are you there? Okay, next. Ananda Putri, how about you?
How do you feel after joining this lesson? Yeah, the lesson of our today's material from Coach Andy, focusing on the listening skill. Okay, how about maybe Mr. Deden? Mr. Deden, are you there? Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes. How is your impression, or how do you feel after joining this class? Oh.
What a pity.
Yes. Oh, poor pity. Okay. Are you all right, Mr. Dede? Can you, or from, oh, that's fine if you can't. Yes. Oh, hear from Sudirman, yes. Mr. Sudirman? You can deliver. Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, yes. Yes, we can hear you.
I'm so sorry to question maybe. I'm Dirman from hospital in Batam.
Oh, Batam.
There's people say to me it's different English, medical English and general English. I know our hospital must nurse will be speaking English. Now I will try to speak English in our area in hospital, but maybe some nurse maybe too be shy to try to speak English. Maybe Mrs. Andy, can you give me a strategic or the way how to begin to first start to our nurse in Batam, maybe in to can speak English good like you are
unstable connection, yes.
in this Zoom maybe. I believe English is efficacy, not just read, but you must talk, brief, we must what's it? Talk with other in our staff maybe, and now maybe you have a link for to speak English, specific medical speaking English maybe in Delhi. You must start talking to or listen first to can speak English. Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Pak Sudirman, Sir Sudirman, for the courage.
Oh, yeah, no, it's in English, but I'm trying to.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, sure, it's fine. It's the time for us to learn English. You're working at the hospital right now, right?
Yeah.
And then you like kind of openly speak English with the staff.
Yeah.
Okay. The impression I got the impression that you were excited, and then you say thank you to Coach Andy, but then it turns a question. Is that all right, Coach Andy?
I'm too nervous to speaking.
It's fine. Wow. Okay, it's nice. Yeah. So how can they in the hospital areas can speak English well to encourage maybe conversation like that in the hospital areas? Like
well,
that.
here's where sympathetic listening goes into play real hard. What does it mean? It means that in order for you to activate your critical listening, okay, you have to connect or try to establish a connection to the person. It doesn't matter if you speak a high or low level English. It doesn't matter. We as human beings connect in many different ways. So my advice would be to try to understand what are the needs of your patient or patients in order for you to understand. And don't forget the power of paraphrasing. Ask them, did you mean this? And then if they confirm, communication was done, perfect, move on. Okay, that's my advice.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, semangat ya. Have a spirit. Yes, another one impression from the abroad. Can I guess? Another impression from the participant from abroad.
Okay.
And there are already lots of impressions.
Yeah. I actually wanna ask Mr. Hanrobi, but Mr. Hanrobi is already sent his impression on the chat room, so
maybe she can. Sorry, she can deliver it directly to Coach Shanti.
I beg your pardon.
Let's ask. No, Kanaya, we can ask Miss Hanrobi to deliver her impression to Coach Andy directly.
Okay. Miss Hanrobi, can you open the cam? And would you mind if I'm asking you the same question? Hello? Are you able to open the microphone? Miss Han?
Hi.
Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
you?
I'm really sorry because I have a flu, so my voice is not so sorry.
Oh, get well soon.
But really, this is Han. I'm from Egypt, and I'm really so impressed because Mrs. Andy or Miss Andy, Coach Andy, your pronunciation is so clear. And when I hear you, it's so easy to me to understand whatever you say. So not all of the English coaches or the people who are trying to convey their the way to be easy for us to understand English, to learn English as non-native speakers. So thank you so much for the way that she is helping us how to understand English. And sometimes the coaches are just like presenting their ideas in the way that is a little bit complicated, but she is conveying her way in a very simple and easy way. I can understand it easily, even if I'm not a native speaker. So thank you so much, and thank you for VLC as well. Coach Andy, I'm really impressed because not all of the people who are trying to guide how to learn English are giving it the ideas and the tips in that very simple and easy way. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Miss. We hope that you will get well soon.
And again, please forgive me for my voice. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. To have a raspy voice is sometimes very nice. Thank you so much for your input. I personally appreciate it because again, I think that I have an advantage is because I am a teacher and I love to understand, you know, the student and how I can be perceived as a teacher. And in this case, I rather have a fluid communication than just delivering a message without you know, having an echo back from the room. So thank you so much, really, for your appreciation.
Most welcome.
All right, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Miss Hanrobi. Okay. And then for one word for Coach Andy and one word for the VLC, I'd like to invite Miss Henny or Miss Lenny. Sorry, Miss Lenny. Miss Margaret, then Miss Margaret, are you there? Or probably Mr. Muhammad Shamsir. Okay, we just kind of skip first, and then we will let know about it later. But now we would like to hear really much from the Coach Andy about the impressions of being the speaker on our today's class at the VLC Indonesia Batch 3. Would you mind?
Yes.
Coach Andy? Yes.
Thank you so much again for having me over, especially to talk about this topic that is close to my heart, because I believe that listening comes with a great power in order for us to be better students. And I include myself because listening is not about if you are a student or not. This is about if you're just a regular person that has the thank God, the ability to listen. And we have to think first that listening, in case that we actually do have that, is a miracle that we have to understand that comes with great power. So let's start developing this skill more in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and then Mr. Bako, are you there? Are you still there? I think he's still here. Mr. Bako? I would like to invite you also to say something special to our dear Coach Andy, who already gave the presentations very well, and then everyone is really having a new information and then happy of it. Please, Mr. Bako.
Wow, thank you so much for the best host today for the second one. Actually, Miss Prima and also my best partner to be panel host Kanaya is really wonderful students to deliver, actually to conduct this program. Thank you so much. And then I would like to say in Spain, actually, I would like to try to speak Spain. Gracias por su tiempo en VLC Indonesia. Special for Andy, Lu Keshi. Eres muy inteligente en la transmisión del material muy interesante. That's right. I'm so sorry if I failed to pronounce every word in Spain.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, honestly, I'm super happy to invite you again to come here. That's a lot of or much knowledge we can get from here. So we can share, we can teach actually for all the students in Indonesia especially, and for all the people here. It's really useful for us, or for Mr. Bako, and for all the participants in VLC Indonesia, because I believe that after joining, after getting your tips about listening skill, I believe all the teacher here to all the students in every school in Indonesia, not only in Jakarta, Bandung, but another place around here. So, and also I'm extremely happy to, I want to say thank you so much. Thanks a lot for my best partner, my best coach from Spain. This is the second time that you join here. That's right, Andy?
That's right.
Yeah, I want, if you get my invitation, you have to say yes for Mr. Bako for the next programs, 2022, yes?
Basically, yes. Count on me, no problem. And anything for Indonesia. Remember that Indonesia is close to my heart. My sister was born in Indonesia when my mom was there.
Wow.
And I have to close something special for Mr. Bako because I promise.
What is it?
Wow, yeah, it's you. This is Bali, yeah. This is Bali uniform, or I don't know. This Indonesia uniform. That's you.
That's you. Me. That's
me. Show me. I want to show me. I want to. Okay.
Have a picture.
Wait. Okay, picture. Wow, very good.
I still nice. Have it. Yes.
When you were a child in Indonesia, yes?
Yes.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you are still my sister actually, but I hope that one day you have to come here. You have to come Indonesia after Corona, yes? Come back. Come back to your country. We can say like that, yes?
I would
and no worries, Yeah, no worries, teacher Anies, because you have right now you have a lot of friends here, not only in Jakarta, Bandung, but another place in Indonesia. So I would like to say thank you so much too for all the participants from another cities in Indonesia and also in abroad. Stay tuned in VLC Indonesia, not only here, but the next time or the next week, we have still 2 meetings in other country. So please, Miss Uniarti, help me to show the players 2 meetings, Saturday and the next Sunday. Miss Uniarti, please help me, please. Okay. Okay.
This okay.
Okay, so guys, viewers, for all of you, the next Saturday we have to meet or greet for the expert one from Kazakhstan, Coach Neil Buffer. This is a really actually amazing coach, like coach or teacher Andy. So this is one, okay, and then on Saturday with the IELTS expert from Iran. Teacher Naim, I forgot the last one, but teacher Naim actually. Okay, thank you so much for Uniarti. So we have to pick the main room. Okay, so the last one, but not least for my sentence. Thank you so much for all of you, especially my best teachers, my best coach, Andy Lucasi. I'm so happy actually, Andy Lucasi. And one day, me and all the participants who wants to go to your country, Spain. So the last one, I would like to chance you. Would you mind to repeat? Would you mind to repeat my sentence, Indonesian sentence or Indonesian words?
Of course, sure. Go ahead. Let's see.
Do you want to say some? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I want to remind you some words of Indonesia that you ever had years. That's right. Okay, saya senang.
Saya senang
hadir di VLC Indonesia.
Di VLC Indonesia.
Bersama bersama peserta.
Repeat again because there is
yeah, this is you have to a good listener. This is listening skill. This is listening skill. This is listening skill.
Yeah.
Peserta. Ya, VLC Indonesia.
VLC Indonesia.
VLC
yes, okay, did you right?
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
There has been a problem with the connection. That's why I couldn't listen to you.
Yes. I saw it. Yes.
Okay.
Right,
so the last one, Mr. Andy, I hope that you are really like to eat again for nasi goreng or satay. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much. See you for the next week, for the next time.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Bako as a founder of VLC Indonesia. So all of you guys, you can get attendance slippers, international certificate, and I would like to share in the group. Yes, after this. So don't forget to share screen yourself as a proof that you join here. Thank you, and I have to back to Prima and Kanaya. Thank
you so much, Mr. Baker, for the wonderful closing speech. And of course, yes, you can get the attendance link, from the group, WhatsApp group of EICC Batch 3. All right, Coach Andy, all the participants said that when you saw us the picture, they said that you are amazing, cute, charming.
Thank you.
And then, yes, we all happy with you today. And thank you so much for sharing the amazing topic. You are really inspire us to learn more about this, specifically listening English skill to improve our English skills, of course. So hopefully
you for
your
having me.
togetherness in VLC Indonesia over this year, yeah, because you're twice here in the VLC Indonesia, provide benefits and of course, knowledge to be applied in our real life as a teacher or student. Yes, Kanai, do you have something to say to Coach Andy?
Yeah, I just want to say many thank you, big thanks, a huge thanks for Coach Andy for coming here for a second time. It is really an honor for me to be the panel host for your event today. And also I want to say big thanks to all the participants from Indonesia and abroad for your participation in VLC Indonesia program. I'm lucky that I can interact and learn English with a lot of people around the world by just staying at home. Also, I want to remind you that International English Training Class Batch 3 by VLC Indonesia are still having another amazing event that will be held on the next week, which we will learn another amazing topics of learning English with teacher Nilufar from Kazakhstan.
From Kazakhstan, all right.
So please visit VLC Indonesia social media platform so that you can also find the details of the upcoming event, information on the Instagram account at VLC_Indonesia and the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check it too on VLC Indonesia. So please don't miss it, everyone. Save the date. Come on.
Yeah, and don't forget also follow Miss Andy's Instagram, YouTube, anything. Yeah, you can find it. How can we find you on the Instagram? All right, so let's go on. Yeah, and then we had a lot of fun.
Sorry, there it is. I was writing it. Sorry, I'm a slow typer.
Oh yes.
Probably Miss Andy, Coach Andy, send it to direct message to me only, so everyone couldn't see what you're typing actually, Coach Andy. Can you
can just tell us, Naya?
Sure. Her username Instagram is at andys
There you go. Okay, so that's all. Yeah, and for me, I'd like to thank you for my dear, gorgeous panel host, Kanaya, our talented student of SMK Telkom Bandung, for accompanying me during the event. And we had a lot of fun. Really hope that this event inspired us and making us more skillful in English, of course. So I'm Prima Yanti Agustia Sofianti and my dear panel host,
Kanaya from Telkom Vocational High School Bandung. See you on the next day of IETC Batch 3 by VLC Indonesia. Bye!
Bye! Thank you, Coach Andy.
Bye,
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum